Got to keep a drink handy for this chickpea curry because it is hot. My nose is running and everything, it's brilliant. Alright guys, how's it going? Daniel here from Guiltless Foods. I've got another recipe for you. Yes, I'm in the same clothes. I'm filming this at the same time that I'm doing the chicken curry recipe, and it's another curry, but this time it's going to be vegetarian. We've got a chickpea and cashew curry. This is similar in terms of how you cook it to the chicken curry, and also similar in terms of how easy it is to do. It's another very easy to make recipe. The ingredients are very similar as well. A lot of them are dried. So the main thing I like about things like the first ingredient here, again, good old tinned chopped tomatoes. It's very easy. You go to a shop, they're about 65p for a tin. This recipe is going to call for, because I'm having this 5 times next week, so it's going to call for the second half of the opened tin of tomatoes, and it's going to call for 2 more tins of tomatoes. It's also going to call for 2 tins of chickpeas in water. Again, check also these in water. Remember in water, because they sometimes come in brine, and that's just extra salt that you don't need. Remember, it's always best just to add the salt that you need. Another similar ingredient, we've got 0% Greek style yogurt. Again, very convenient product there to have. Again, same Uncle Ben's long grain white rice. Very convenient, a little bit more expensive than your standard dried rice. However, this cooks in 2 minutes. Your dried rice cooks in about 25-30 minutes, depending on how much you're going to cook. I need to get about 1 kilo for me personally in a week, which requires quite a big pan, quite a lot of time, and also you're faffing around with trying to measure the dried weight versus the cooked weight. Again, you're trying to, because you weigh out the uncooked rice, and you're trying to guesstimate how much cooked rice you end up with. You might just end up with a little too much rice at the end of it. And as I said before, I've already shown you the chickpeas, cashew nuts. Again, you can get these cheap. They are a little bit expensive, but you can get them cheap in supermarkets. No need to buy any organic ones. You will not be able to tell the difference between these or organic ones once you cook them, because they will be cooked and they will be soft, so you're not going to be able to tell the difference there. Got here a sweet red pepper. I tried one of these the other day. They are actually spicy, not just sweet, so that's why I'm using this instead of red chilies. But chilies works well, bell peppers work well, sweet chilies work well. For second to last, we've got some baby spinach. I like baby spinach over regular spinach, and especially over frozen spinach, because this is just so much more tender. When you get the frozen spinach, unless you get frozen chopped spinach, which then you don't get any texture from it, but if you get the frozen leaf spinach, you end up getting like a stringy, almost pasta-like texture, which I personally don't like when I'm not expecting to eat pasta. So the baby spinach just melts in your mouth when you cook it. Perfect for this recipe. Lastly, nice knob of fresh root ginger. This will give you a lovely freshness and a spice. So guys, like I said, this recipe is dead simple. I'm going to prep it in real time. I've got my Whopper chopper here from university. This pepper, all we're going to do, because it's not too spicy, we're not going to bother about removing the seeds, but all I'm going to do is split it down the middle and then turn it flat side down, and then I'm just going to run through it. Not as sharp as it used to be. Literally just going to run through it like that. That's all I'm going to do. With this ginger, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grate it. had to get the grater out there, I wasn't prepared. I'm going to grate it with the skin on because a lot of the spice is in the skin. Now ginger's very high in fibre as well. A lot of the fibre comes from the skin. All I would just use is maybe half of what I've got here will be enough because you don't want it to be too overpowering. You want to just taste the ginger. If you put too much in, that's all you'll be able to taste and it will just ruin your curry. So basically all we've got there, give or take a heaped tablespoon of grated ginger. Now guys, the most important thing to know is if you're doing meal prep for a lot of days, like I'm doing it for a week, if you're doing it for a lot of days or you're doing a lot at once or for a lot of people, it's important that you utilize something that you got from a previous recipe and you use it for the next recipe. So with this one, I've got the oven on for my sweet potatoes for the chicken and sweet potato curry, and sweet potatoes have still got about 23 minutes. So I'm going to use that timer and I'm going to use that heat from the oven to roast my cashews. Now I've got 27 grams of cashews per portion. I'm making 5 portions, so that's going to be this whole bag in there. These are just going to go into the oven until they're brown. It's going to take about 8 to 10 minutes, and that oven is set to 180 degrees. Now behind me I have a large pot on the heat, heating up, ready to cook my peppers and ginger. So guys, over at the stove I've got my peppers and ginger here cooking in a little bit of olive oil on a kind of medium-high heat. Just there, you just want the peppers to kind of soften up. And then over in the sink here, introduces my kitchen, we've got 2 tins or 480 grams drained and washed chickpeas. Those are ready to go in once the peppers are softened up. Now the thing that makes this curry different from a lot of other curries, at least Indian curries, is that there are no dried spices in this one. What that means is you're getting a lot of just your fresh, natural ingredients. The flavours are a lot lighter, they're a lot cleaner, it doesn't leave a lingering taste in your mouth. And also, it gives you quite a good platform for a little bit of alteration in the recipe. Now if you're not too fussed about tracking your calories, tracking your macros, and all you want to do is have a nice meal, then this curry would be fantastic if you cut the tomatoes in half and added a tin of coconut milk and a squeeze of lime juice. It would be absolutely fantastic, and that's the beauty of curries. They come from all over the world. They come from India, they come from China, you know, so there's a lot of different flavours you can play with here, and this curry is a fantastic one just to play around with, experiment with your favourite flavours. If you want to add dry spices to it, go for it. Nobody's going to stop you. There are no calories in dried spices, but I will just warn you, add them in with your peppers and your ginger with the oil, because what you need to do is you need to cook those spices and you need to toast them, because otherwise they will just be raw and they will ruin the flavour of your curry. So here I've got the peppers that are soft, got a nice bit of caramelisation on the bottom of the pan. That's what you need, that's flavour. So we're going to go straight in with the chickpeas, and without even stirring them around, we're going to go straight in with your 2.5 tins of tomatoes, or half a tin per person, about 200 grams per person, sizzling away. And I'm going to try to stir this with one hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing as you do with the chicken curry, which is basically cook it low and slow. You want to reduce the tomatoes, cook the rawness out of the tin tomatoes, and again you'll be able to taste and smell when that time will be, because it won't smell or taste like tomatoes anymore. So I'll see you when that time comes. So just to show you guys, we've got the toasted cashews here. Now I'm just going to put these in right now to the chickpea curry that's here. It's just coming up to temperature and the tray's still hot, but those are literally just going to go in there, and they're going to cook along with this curry. Still a ways off here, like I mentioned with curries before in my previous video. It needs time, patience, just long, slow TLC, and you'll get the flavour you need. The last thing I'm going to do with it is just add 1 handful of my baby spinach per serving. I've got 5, and it's just going to go straight into the pot. Now remember, once the spinach goes in, it's going to need more cooking just because of how much water there is in the spinach itself. But bear in mind, time yields the results that you want. Right guys, so I finished the chickpea and cashew curry. Here it is. Don't know if you can see that too well. For me, I just served it with some white rice, the yogurt that I told you about previously. That's not actually in the dish, it's just to go on the dish, and I've covered it in coriander, or as you say in the States, cilantro, but a lot of people don't like it. That's why I didn't mention it in the recipe. But basically, I'm just going to give it a taste test for you. I've never done a taste test before, but here goes. So, I cooked it, so I know it's good for me personally. It's nice and spicy, possibly too spicy without the yogurt. That's why it's there. However, combined with that and the freshness of the coriander and the slight crunch of the chickpeas and the cashews, I think personally it makes a perfect lunch or dinner. This is my lunch for today, even though it's 4:30. But yeah, it makes a perfect lunch, perfect dinner. I think for anyone, meat eaters most likely wouldn't miss the meat out of this. Now, in this plate of food, we'll go over the macros. In this plate of food, it is a large plate of food with a lot of rice, a lot of chickpeas. So like I've mentioned before, me personally, I need a lot of carbs for my diet just because I'm trying to put on muscle, and I want to do it quite quickly because I've leaned down to quite a lean body fat percentage, but I did it without building any muscle, which is a bit of a mistake I've learned. So in this bowl with 250 grams of white rice, with 100 grams of Greek yogurt, just on top of the normal recipe with your tomatoes, your cashews, your chickpeas, etc. We have a total of 21 grams of fat, and this is the big number, 127 grams of carbohydrate with 11 grams of fibre and 14 grams of sugars. That's from the tomatoes. 38 grams of protein and a whopping 829 calories. Now, like I say, all these recipes are scalable. Now, at the beginning of the video, I gave you quantities, but all of these are scalable. You definitely don't have to eat as much as I do. I can't imagine a lot of people do, or even if you do need to eat that much, you can split this into 2 different meals throughout the course of the day. It freezes and reheats extremely well, and it will keep nice and fresh in the fridge for up to 3 days if you use one of those Chinese takeaway containers, which again you can get from a Chinese takeaway, or you can get from a Costco, you can get from a supermarket. Anything there, dirt cheap, about 10 for a pound. I would suggest getting them, though they don't go through the dishwasher if you do have a dishwasher, so bear that in mind. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope I did better than my previous recipes, because I'm always looking to improve, which is where you guys come in as well. I'd really like you guys to put a comment down in the comment section below. Tell me what I could have done better, and I'll make sure to do it next time. These videos I'm doing in bulk without actually posting a single one in order to get any criticism, but I just wanted a nice platform to launch this channel from. So if you guys want to see more of this content, then please click like and subscribe, and let me know your feedback in the comment section below. Thank you. Nearly done with this chickpea curry. I'm telling you, if you went to an Indian takeaway, or any takeaway for that matter, if you ordered this, you would not complain, you would not send it back.